But I think the people that really shine are the people that practice consistently and often. When they make that their life, even someone that is untalented can become so incredibly skillful at that craft. Hey, keep an eye out for the golden star later in the video. Spot it and comment the time that you saw it and you'll get a shout out in the next video. Hello and welcome back to another episode. Hope you're having a good day so far. Hopefully it's about to get a little bit better. Just really quickly before we dive in, I will say it is a beautiful day today out there here in New Zealand. The sun is out. There's no clouds anywhere. It is just beach weather. See, something about New Zealand is like during the winter, you don't really get much of a chance to see the sun always. We call it the rainy season. It's probably something that happens in other places too, I'm sure. But yeah, when summer finally hits, you just start seeing people really just like celebrating, and everyone's kind of in a good mood and they're out and about and just doing their own thing, and it's just awesome. I love to see it. Whenever I go down to the beach on a really nice day, it's just absolutely packed out there. Well, not like overly crowded, but there's quite a lot of people out there, and they've got these built-in like barbecues at the beach that people just turn the barbecue thing on and then cook some sausages and grab your fish and chips and whatnot, and it's really just like a nice thing that people tend to do around this area. Probably all over the place, I would imagine. But yeah, I just love to see it. Anyway, without further ado, we're just going to dive straight into some questions. Have you ever had a dream so vivid it felt like a story waiting to be written? Man, I've had some wild dreams. I've had some really crazy ones. I don't always remember all of them, but there are some that are just absolutely just wild. And then there are some really lame ones as well, like dreaming that I went to work. I wake up and then I had to go to work. It's just like, oh man, it sucks. It's like you've been working for like an extra 8 hours just while you sleep, and it's just, yeah. or something weird will happen. It's like you're trying to remember to tell someone something, and then you tell them the thing in the dream, and then you realize like, oh wait, we still haven't talked about this thing that I've been meaning to talk about. And you start to think like, wait, did I tell you already? Like, I can't remember if we talked about this. I feel like we did, but we probably didn't. Yeah. Dude, I remember there was this one dream that I had where everything was like this giant playground, but for like adults, but it was very colorful, and you know how like playgrounds have all these bright colors and they're very loud with different eye-catching things, but basically it was like buildings, the size of like buildings, right? And I remember I was like walking through this like massive like building jungle gym thing with my friends, and we were just going on an adventure, man. It was cool. I don't really remember a lot of that dream. I just remember kind of walking around and, you know, climbing things, and then like, yeah, getting to a high point and kind of like looking out and seeing like the scenery. And there were like hammocks all around, so we all kind of just chilled like while being really high up in these hammocks, and we were just eating food. And yeah, it was just weird, man. It was a really cool dream though. I've had some really crazy ones. There've definitely been some really vivid ones that are hard to forget though, and those are normally the nightmares, but like I don't really tend to have nightmares very often, but man, sometimes when I do, it's pretty intense. Like I can't even talk about it. It gets pretty messed up, some of them. Like my friends know because I've told them, but man, yeah. And just to give you a rough idea, so I don't leave you hanging in the air without any kind of idea, I basically went down to hell in my dream, and it was just wild. Like the things that I saw and whatnot, and yeah, I can't go into detail unfortunately, because I'll probably get like demonetized or whatever, but yeah, it was hectic, man. But anyways, moving on to the next question. This next question is asking, which video game world would you want to live in and why? Honestly, the only thing I can really think of is Minecraft for like living in. And I only really say that just because I always tend to come back to that game. Just because it really does itch, just some kind of, it really scratches an itch that I tend to need creatively in some way, and I think that's because of the building. Like I really just enjoy like building things. I'm not like very good at it by all means, but it's fun, man. Like you can literally create the house that you want, and you can design the layout of the land, and you can literally craft every single block to the way that you want it to be. So I don't know if you've seen those people on YouTube where they just have the most insane builds. Like I wish I could be that good, but I think for the kind of style that I would go for is more just making it look cozy and comfortable, and just ideally a place with a nice view, somewhere high up where it looks out onto something that looks nice. I just want it to look nice. I just want it to be cool. And you literally can make your own little base and build up your own defenses and, yeah, like farm the villagers for all they have, take all their money, and just kind of rig the system sometimes. But yeah, man, it's fun. It's fun. But yeah, honestly, I can't really think of any other type of video game that would be fun to live in. You know, because I've played like a lot of horror games before, and I've played a lot of like action games, and I don't think I'd want to live in that kind of world. I guess if I had to pick one, with an exception, I would have to go with Horizon Zero Dawn, I think it is, where you basically are this girl and you have a bow and an arrow, and you basically end up climbing all these crazy obstacle courses, but without the deadly animals, you know? Like if they were all peaceful, then heck yeah, that'd be cool as. I think that'd be super, super awesome. I'd definitely be down for that, you know? Like I'd probably go for like a ride on one of the like bulls and just kind of roam around the area and find some cool places to like stop and have like a lunch break or something. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like that'd be kind of cool, man. Yeah, I think that would be kind of cool, to be honest, just to have like a mechanical companion that just follows you around, like some kind of mechanical creature companion that can just let it hang out and do whatever, and you know, when you want to go somewhere, you just hop on and it just kind of rides you around like you're on a horse, basically a horse. Is probably what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, I don't know if you've seen in that game how they've got those really tall giraffe looking things with that massive like aerial thing on the top where the head is, and you actually get to climb onto that mechanical creature, and you have to climb all the way up to the top while it's moving, and you can literally just stay there. You just sit on the top and just, you know, get a beautiful view, and you're just with it, and it just goes wherever it wants to go, and it's kind of cool. I think that's kind of awesome. I wouldn't mind that. I think that would be pretty cool. But in terms of like, you know, having like a mechanical T-Rex running after you, you know, not really keen on that kind of thing. But imagine being able to like hop onto one of those like flying hawks and kind of just mounting a saddle on it and then, you know, hopping on and just flying around. I think that would be pretty damn awesome. I definitely, coming back to the dream thing, I definitely have had dreams where if I play a lot of video games, which I definitely do, I'll dream that I'm inside of a game. Yeah. Like, it doesn't always make sense because it's a dream, and things just don't make sense sometimes in dreams, where, like, for example, you could pretend you're on a mission to do something and then have like a bunch of people, like hundreds of people, just understand what you're trying to do, and they all kind of come together for some reason in the dream and help you do the thing that you're trying to do. Like, that just, yeah, it makes no sense in that kind of aspect. But yeah, I don't know, it's cool, man. It's cool, yeah. I definitely wouldn't mind dreaming as if I'm in Horizon Zero Dawn, as long as it's unpeaceful. That's, I think, the only way I would do it with that kind of rule. But in saying that, I don't know if you've ever played Soma, I think it's called. The game Soma. I might even retract that statement just because of that game. And if you've played Soma, people know what I'm talking about. But yeah. Anyways, moving on to the next question. If your life had a soundtrack, what song would be open? Hang on, let me just see if I can find a good song for you. A Kraken recommended song. Let's see. There's actually a really good thing. I don't actually believe it's on Spotify because it's like a live version of the song. But if you're really just kind of bored and you just want to have like half an hour of just music, like good music, if you're not familiar with Mac Miller, like I'm not really like the biggest of fans of Mac Miller, but this Tiny Music Disc Studio live session is just amazing. It's really, really enjoyable. I'll see if I can find the actual name of it. Just type into YouTube Mac Miller NPR Music Tiny Disc Concert, or just type in Mac Miller Tiny Disc and it should come up. Yeah, that's a pretty good time, man. It's like super chill. The end song's a little bit sad, I will warn you. But yeah, it's a really, really good time. I do recommend that one. But if I can give you a single song that might be a little bit different, let's see what we got. I'm literally just going through my Spotify at the moment, so hopefully I can find something worth the recommendation. Man, I've got so much music. I've got some really good bangers in here. This one's really good. It's kind of like a remix. Oh my goodness. I'm going to attempt to tell you the name of this person, but it's going to suck, and it's okay. So the song is called Mood, but it's the lo-fi sped up version, and it's by Yagiha? I don't know how to say it. Yagiha Miel. It's probably nothing like that. It's like Yagiha Miel. I don't know how to say that. But yeah, it's kind of like a clean version of that song, and it's also sped up, so it sounds like a little bit more high pitched, but it's actually a banger. I always tend to skate to that song. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, that one. Another song, if you kind of like rap, like I have a very specific taste for rap. Like I don't like any just kind of rap, but there is a song by Logic, and I believe it's called 44 Bars. Really, really good song. I like very specific songs from him, but he's really, really good. He kind of normally raps about just trying to make it in the world kind of thing. So I really like that kind of style of like message. He raps about other things as well, which, you know, it's not really my kind of thing, but that song, there's a couple of other good ones that he does. That particular song, whatever they did for that sound mixing or whatever it was, they kind of nailed it. Like, I can put that song on repeat for maybe not hours, but maybe like half an hour and still like that song. But yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Honestly, I could keep going. There's so many good songs that I could show you. Maybe I'll add that into the thing. But anyways, moving on to the next question. So this next question's asking, have you ever played a game or watched a film that genuinely changed how you see the world? I don't really have much of a good answer for that one. The only thing I can think of is just like a good TV show that I used to watch quite a lot of back in the day. The Last Airbender, or The Avatar, is really, really good. It probably is one of the best kind of anime style things that I first watched. I don't know, it's really, really good. There's something that just really clicks with me with that kind of thing. I think it's kind of cool because he's trying to figure out like who he is and what being the Avatar actually means. I'm not gonna give any spoilers away. However, there is one particular scene, well actually there's a couple scenes, but he's just like a really nice, very innocent kind of kid, and sometimes people within the world get a little bit greedy and they sometimes use power to try to take advantage over other people, and there are certain scenes where he's almost forced to kind of snap, and it's like this trigger is pulled, like no more Mr. Nice Guy kind of thing, and he just goes into insane mode and he's like, no, you will not use your power for your personal gain and abuse it kind of thing. Like when he goes into like the Avatar state, like it's kicking off, man. he's not messing around. But it's so strange because he's just like a small little kid who just, you know, runs around and laughs all the time, and he's literally just like a child basically, but so incredibly powerful. And the whole world within that animation is just done so well. There's so much thought that's gone into the world and the rules and the laws, and yeah, and just the storyline is so good, man. Like I really, really enjoyed it. I remember when I was like much younger, when I first started watching it, I was so hooked, man. I was like, like I can't wait to watch the next episode. I would literally make sure that I booked the TV, because we needed like a single family room TV, and I was like, all right, I'm booking the TV for this time. No one's going to interrupt for this amount of time. Does that sound fair? If I pre-book it, no one should be able to interrupt, right? Like I was so just like, I need to see. I think it was near the end, because it was all building up, and I was just so hyped. I was like, no, I need to book this time. I'm so just on board. It really is like a fantastic like masterpiece of a TV show, and like it really, really is. If I had to pick like a favorite character, I'd probably have to, I can't really say anything because that might give away some spoilers. I will say, without ruining anything, it's a firebender, and I'm 100% sure people that have watched that show know exactly who I'm talking about. He's a male firebender, and I'll leave it at that. But yeah, It's really good. And like the fight scenes as well are so just, it's just so good, man. I think I'm going to have to rewatch it again. I don't know how many times I've rewatched it, but I think it's time, you know. It's been a while. It's probably been like a few years since I've like watched it, but yeah, I think we're going to have to rewatch it. But in any case, moving on to the next question. This next question's asking, what's one piece of tech that you couldn't live without right now? I'm gonna go past stating the obvious and not say my cell phone, because that's too obvious. So I'm probably gonna go with my electric skateboard. Honestly, man, I love that thing. I literally went out for a skate just before, and it's just the most freeing feeling I think you can feel. Like in this world, man, there just doesn't seem to be a better feeling than just carving with the wind blowing in your face and the sun's out, and you know you're getting all this fresh air, and I'm climbing all these different hills and going to all these locations, and yeah, man, it's just awesome. I've honestly been having so much fun. I just realized I left my board in the back of the boot of my car, but I'll grab it later. Whoops. Oh well, I was meant to put it on charge, but I totally forgot. Yeah, I've had it for like a couple of years now. I've only fallen off maybe 3 times, which isn't like that much. It's surprisingly pretty reliable, even though it feels dangerous because you don't really have anything to hold on to. Let me tell you that I don't think there's a better feeling than carving along like a straight curve. What? A straight curve? I don't even know what that means. Carving on like a flat path. It's just like a nice straight, but you just kind of curve left and right with the board, and you just really feel the movement of like the gravity with the speed that you've picked up and feeling each turn. I don't know what it is, man. Honestly, something I used to do is, I don't know if you know that How to Train a Dragon song. I may have mentioned this previously in one of my other podcast things, but basically what I would do is play the music from How to Train a Dragon, you know, like the whole theme song when he hops in the dragon, he's flying around, and that really epic music starts playing, the do 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 do. Don't ask me to do that again. That's the best impression you're gonna get out of me for now. But yeah, it's really fun, man. It feels like I'm flying. Obviously I'm not, but it's just, the feeling of freedom is just so intense, and it's just such a nice feeling. If anyone has longboarded before or skated before and they're thinking about getting an electric skateboard, I recommend getting the Evolve skateboard. I'm not like sponsored or anything. This is just from my own personal experience, from one person to another. Yeah. Also, be careful with the safety settings, and don't take your safety settings off. Increase the speed if you want. You don't really need to go above 25 kilometers. Like, I think it goes up to like 32 kilometers per hour, but you just don't need to go that fast. Also, I think if you feather the brake at too much of a high speed, the board might sometimes jolt because it's not ready to brake at such a high speed. So yeah, my recommendation is to keep it at 25 kilometers per hour, and that way you don't get much of a jolty brake when you kind of feather the brake. That's what actually caused me to fall, is I read the speedometer on the remote, and I was going like 45 kilometers an hour, or 40k or 45k, something like that, and I fell off. That is pretty fast. That's almost like a car speed zone in New Zealand. So yeah, that was not fun, and I was not wearing my helmet or any safety gear, and I had a massive scrape up the side of my leg, and I just absolutely caked it, and I had to call an ambulance because I was in the middle of nowhere, and I couldn't walk back to my vehicle because I was too messed up from the bail. It was so embarrassing, man. It really was. And people were driving past, like slowing down, like I just couldn't make eye contact with them because I was like, no, don't help me, just like, I don't know like why, but whatever. But other than that, I still highly recommend it, even though I'm not making a very good point and I'm not selling it very well. It's so what, I've dislocated my arm because of it once. I still recommend it. It is just a fantastic feeling, not the dislocating your shoulder part, but just carving. You need to know the risks though, for sure. If I could be within that moment of buying that skateboard, if I had to remake that choice, I would do it 100 times over. It has been one of the best investments that I've made, and it is a very good reason for me to kind of get outside of the house. And I tell you what, it really toughens your legs out as well. Like, my calf muscles are starting to really get really toned because of all the carving. At first, it feels like a very small workout, but after a while, you could ride it around for hours and not really. Well, maybe after an hour, you'll probably feel it, but you just kind of get used to it, I suppose, and your body adapts, and then you just feel very comfortable on it afterwards. I think though, like if you're going over like really bumpy terrain, like it's pretty relatively okay with gravel. Like I've taken it through some like bushwalks and stuff, and it was fine. It worked perfectly fine. But I think if you're going very fast over quite a grassy or bumpy terrain for a long period of time, your feet do get a little bit itchy just because of the constant vibrations. But other than that, that's pretty much all the negative things I can really think of about it. It really is well worth the money, in my opinion. I remember I used to use it like almost every day, like during summer, and I would go from beach to beach to beach. And then I would skate all the way back home because it does a surprising amount of distance. So you just kind of go from place to place to place, and it can actually take hills surprisingly well. There's only been a few couple of hills that I have noticed that it might slow down or sometimes stop. Just because the hill's like way too ridiculous, which is fair enough. It normally, and I live in New Zealand, so this is kind of a big statement just because New Zealand's very hilly. That's what I was worried about when I was about to get it. I was like, oh, is it going to be able to take me to places where I want to go and check out? I think they did a test up New Zealand's steepest hill, or one of the steepest hills, and it does actually climb the hill, but I think the newer version of the board actually has absolutely no problem because I've got a slightly older version. I've got the Carbon GTR version. I think there's like another version of it out now that, you know, doesn't have pretty much any issues at all. So yeah, if you're thinking about it, definitely check it out. I highly recommend it. But anyways, this is a little bit of a rant, but anyway, we'll move on to the next question. So this next question is asking, what's your go-to method for regaining focus when your mind is scattered? Honestly, I have had some brain fog before, but I think taking a little bit of fish oil, and another really helpful one that's been the newest addition to what I've been taking is lion's mane, which is like a mushroom that you get from like a capsule that they sell it at the pharmacy. It's completely natural. It's not like a drug or anything. It's just like a mental clarity thing. It's basically to help you focus, and it improves your mood, and it really helps with brain fog. But also, I think a really noticeable difference was the fish oil. It's something that you have to take pretty consistently, like one a day, and then slowly you start to feel much better, and you can form your sentences a lot better, and you can remember things that happened ages ago that you normally wouldn't be able to remember like that far back. So yeah, it's really good stuff, man. Definitely start with fish oil. That should normally do the trick. If you want to take it a step further, yeah, try lion's mane. It's got a ton of really good reviews. Yeah, it just makes you feel really clear. But anyways, moving on to the next question. The next question's asking, what's the biggest creative risk you've ever taken? I would definitely have to say playing on stage in front of people. That is a feeling that is hard to replicate, man. There is this thrill that you get the first time you play up on stage in front of people, because you're wondering, like, am I good enough to be playing music for a bunch of people? Especially when you're on your own and you're on stage and you're like feeling the pressure of like, I am the only person driving this right now, so if I screw up, it's going to be very obvious. If you've got like a band behind you, it definitely makes things a little bit easier, because if you screw up, it can kind of be hidden amongst the rest of the band, and hopefully they can kind of play over your mistake. But yeah, I mean, I've been in all different kinds of bands. I remember I used to play for a church. I'm not like Christian or anything, but that's kind of just how I was brought up. You know, like you go to church, this is what we do kind of thing. And I remember playing for like these intermediate kids. So every Sunday we would go to this shack place just next to the church, and we would practice. And we actually got pretty good. We had a really good setup, and it was very surprising because we were all very young. Like the sound guy was our age. We might have been like 15, maybe younger. I don't even remember, but it was definitely around that mark. And we would get up and just play for these kids. So I guess it wasn't too bad. Like if we messed up or we screwed up, it wasn't like too bad. But when we moved into the main event like stage, it was kind of like a big like, whoa, okay, we're moving up in the world kind of thing. But we definitely played at a lot of camps. I got to play with this guy from the radio. He was like doing his own thing, and he was like on the radio, and I was like, man, that's so cool. We're like doing stuff with like people that are on the radio. It was like a weird and like very cool feeling. But that feeling when you first get up on stage and you just have a bunch of people just like looking at you and it's quiet and you have like the feeling of this responsibility to provide entertainment for these people. So it's like, man, I really can't screw this up. I think eventually you do start to get used to it if you do it quite often, but yeah, nothing will ever feel like what it felt like for the first time, getting up and just having these people just look at you and like you're on this elevated stage and you're just like, oh man, this is really nerve-wracking. It's terrifying. But when you do play successfully, like people clap and start cheering, I tell you what, it is a very, very rewarding feeling. Like I remember we went to this one camp for the intermediate kids and honestly, we felt like royalty like at this place. It was awesome. We literally played card games pretty much all day. I think it was called Gin. It's a really kind of like complicated one. I don't remember the rules, but we played a lot of that one. And then all the kids would go to bed and then we'd stay up and watch movies on the projector. And like we were just literally there just for the music. Yeah, it was a really awesome feeling. And people would come to our like room and bring us like snacks and stuff, and it was like, man, I could get used to this. This is awesome. Yeah, it was a really good feeling. But to get back to the question, yeah, that's probably the biggest feeling of a risk. It's honestly such a rush, but it really is cutthroat. Like it's either you make it or you break it within that moment. It's like that Eminem song, like you only got one shot, do not miss your opportunity to blow. I probably messed that up, but you know the song I'm talking about. Man, today's just a good day, man. I'm really just enjoying today, and hopefully you are too, wherever you may be. This is an interesting next question. So this next question's asking, do you believe people are naturally creative, or is it a skill you develop? I would have to say, I don't know if this is correct, but I believe it's like a muscle. The more you train it, the bigger it gets and the better you get at it. That's probably where I'd have to stand on that one, because I don't know what it is about music specifically, but I feel like learning an instrument really helps your brain with like neuroconnectivity or whatever it is. I don't have the proper science or information about that. I've just got a hunch that doing something over and over again and trying to get it perfectly as you can, I think it like unlocks certain neuro pathways and almost like helps develop your brain in a certain way by doing that. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like learning music really did help, and I feel like learning an instrument, really doing it every day, helps you get better at it. I think there are also naturally talented people that will just pick something up and just be incredible at. But I think the people that really shine are the people that practice consistently and often. When they make that their life, even someone that is untalented can become so incredibly skillful at that craft. And I think that type of person will overtake someone that is talented because they have the practice, they have the rudiments behind them, they have whatever. But honestly, sometimes when I'm watching YouTube and I just see this like young dude who's just insane at guitar, there's a little bit of jealousy in there, and I try not to get too jealous, but it's just like, oh man, what? I've been playing for so much longer, you know? But again, the way to kind of look at that situation is like, use it as inspiration. Like, man, that guy's really, really good. Like, I hope to be that good at something one day. See, it's kind of funny because I think when a younger person is teaching something, I feel like an older person is most likely to ignore that information, because I feel like they think that the chances of them actually receiving valuable information is low because of like the lack of experience or whatever. But I mean, there definitely have been videos that I've watched with kids that are much younger than me that have a much more better understanding and able to teach me something. And I think it's almost like an ego thing as well. What could this kid teach me? You know, he's just a kid. What does he know? But it's like, well, hang on. Maybe this person does actually know something. And I think a lot of older people are a little bit stumped by that, and they just refuse to sometimes learn because it's like, oh, he's just younger and been through more things in life and blah, 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 blah. But there really is a lot of value, and we should not overlook that just because someone is much younger than you. Like, I think there are definitely a lot of kids that might not know what they're doing, and sometimes that is pretty obvious and it does kind of show. But I don't think it's a bad thing, you know, like let them try, let them learn that they're still learning. There's nothing wrong with that. I encourage it, if anything. I think we should just give people more of a chance instead of just shutting it down way too soon. I don't think that's necessarily the right way of going. I've had some like video editing techniques that I've learned from a much younger kid, and I was so close to just brushing him off and just being like, he's probably just going to be this high-pitched kid who doesn't really know what he's talking about. But I stuck with it, and I remember watching the video and being like, wow, there's actually a lot of valuable information within this video. And this is something that I've been doing for like a couple of years now, like I've been editing for years, and I was like, there's probably not a good chance he's going to teach me something. But to my surprise, he covered it so well, and he did such a good job. I wish I knew the name of this channel, but I don't, and I'm sorry. But yeah, don't be too quick to judge, I think. Don't judge a book by its cover. Is the term that I'm searching for, I believe. Anyways, moving on to the next question. That was a good question though. I like that one. This one's pretty interesting. This next question's asking, what's something you wish schools taught about in real life? Money. How to manage your money. I wish people talked about that more in high school, or just in school in general. They didn't really teach some of the things that I really needed to learn, or like how to do your taxes or whatever, like I definitely wish there were lessons and things that I could have learned beforehand, instead of like just being thrown into life and be like, I don't know, just figure it out, I guess. Like some people have a goal and they know what they want and they know what they're driving towards, and that's great. But for me, I just didn't really have that, and I wish people told me about like the stock market and investing and being a little bit more effective with your money and a little bit less wasteful with my money, I think, because money is hard to come by. It's so easy to not have it, it really is, and I very much have experienced that, not having a lot of money. Yeah, I think the cool thing about investing is, which is a sentence that not many people have ever said, the cool thing about investing is, it just doesn't sound like a cool sentence, but to me it is. Anyways, the cool thing is, even if you have just like a standard minimum wage job, you can still create wealth by investing money into the stock market. You don't have to have some $1 million idea. You can literally become rich just by having like an average day job and just constantly automatically putting money into a specific safe stock that builds you wealth over time. That's what I think is really cool about it. You don't have to know all these crazy things. It's just like, no, pick something that everyone knows is good and then just keep to it, stick to it. Set up those automatic payments that just automatically go in and you don't even think about it. You don't even know it's gone. I honestly don't even notice it. And yeah, again, it's just been so fantastic for my life, Don't think so short term. I think later on, like when you reach your 30s, which unfortunately I've hit my 30s, I'm literally 30, but around that age, a lot of people tend to think, I should probably think of my future. I should probably figure out some kind of good setup that I can rely on, create some kind of system that just works for me in the future. I should probably start preparing for that. I think I was quite young when I started, which does give me a slight a huge advantage really. I think I started when I was 20. And let me tell you, like, time goes very quickly. You're like, 30 is so far away from me now. But if you're young and you're thinking like that, trust me, a lot of the time people tend to regret not doing it sooner. Because over time, that's kind of how you make money with stocks. The time's gonna pass anyway. So it's like, you can either choose to be smart about it and put in this system that you can fall onto later on in life now, before it becomes way too late and you're much older and it's not going to be as effective if you're in your late stages of life. So yeah, I think money's definitely a very, very huge aspect in everyone's life. It creates comfort. It can help you be more healthy because you can afford like more vitamins and hospital bills or whatever. If things pop up, which they do, unexpected things always pop up, it's nice to have some kind of preparation for it. So yeah, this is obviously something I'm very like passionate about, and it's been just very life-changing for me personally. So yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna preach it to everyone and anyone. I'm not a financial advisor at all, so do your own research. I'm not gonna give you like specific advice about specific stocks or whatever. Like, you need to know the risks when going into it, but I do highly recommend getting in the earlier the better. They say the best time to invest was yesterday, and that is so true, man. It really, really is. But anyways, I'm gonna probably end up rambling on about this, which I tend to do sometimes. So before I do that, let's move on to the next thing. I don't know how to pronounce this person's name, but anyways, we're going to move on to a famous quote. So this quote is saying, "Are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit." And that is by this person who's really hard to pronounce. Hang on, give me a moment. Aristotle. I'm not too sure who that is, and I'll probably get roasted for that, but yeah. There you go. But we'll end on that one. If you've made it this far, I do just want to say thank you so much. It does mean a lot to me that, people have made it through the video this far. I hope you're having a good day so far, and hopefully I could make it just a little bit better. Hopefully I will see you in the next video. Cheers.